We are live! I was just telling Sister Basi offline that the way I am so shiny, I need a makeup artist. Anyway, we should employ one to come and just shoot me up every Monday. Hi guys, happy Monday to you and yours, and welcome to the feature we call the Clinical Mondays for Pop and Chats. My name is Vee Ka Nkosi. Thank you so much for joining us for yet another exciting episode. This is where we sit down with our favorite clinician and we get to put these topics under a microscope, and dissect it and talk about it and scrutinize it. And today it is just absolutely there. Don't forget to share this live with your friends and tell them that we are live on our Popin's Facebook page, also on other social media platforms. On Instagram it is @popin, on Twitter it is @n_health, and you can simply hashtag Clinical Monday. And today we are talking adherence and retention, as it is a topic that has been requested for us to talk about this Monday. And we have our popular resident clinician, our favorite Sister Mapaseka, Mabena from Pop and right here in Eguruleni, which is where we are coming to you live from. Like I said, don't forget to use the hashtag Clinical Mondays. And like I said, today we're talking about adherence and retention. I cannot wait to get your comments on this. If you have a question, please make sure that you comment below, and also you leave us a comment in the comment section. And if you do know anything about retention, do you know anything about adherence, in your own views, how would you describe it to us? I would like to have you as part of this conversation. So for the next 30 minutes we'll be sitting down and talking about it. You can tag me also on these other social media platforms. It is @Vee Ka Nkosi. Happy Monday to you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, once again. Thank you for always making time. You said when we finished last week's live that we need to talk about retention, because you have sort of like picked up that with our clients, or with most clients, that they are not adhering, and there's no retention. Is that the general case, that clients don't know anything about retention, anything about adherence?
I've specifically requested this topic because we have a number of clients that we initiate on ART, and then you find that they don't adhere. A person is happy to be initiated, but then when we have to ensure continuity of care, we can't get hold of that client, or that changes their minds, all those back and forth things. So I'm very glad that today at least we will discuss it.
So to somebody who does not know what is adherence and what is retention, in your best summary, how would you describe it?
Adherence is when you are able to stick to something, like you are being given something, you adhere to it, you stick to it. Maybe if in a set of roles, you stick to them, say these are the roles, you have to stick to them. And then retention is being able to retain that person, being able to continue, ensure continuity of care. I think that's how best I can.
I think it's quite easy. It's just straight to the point. And how important is then adherence and retention? And maybe if you can also give us a sense of saying, can you separate the two? Can you adhere but not retain, or can you retain and not adhere? If I'm making sense. But how important is it first, and then if we can separate the two.
Okay. It is very, very. It's both important elements. So remember, when we initiate you, we want you to adhere. We want you to stick to your medication. So it's very important. Once you have stick to your treatment, then we are able to say we have retained this client, because this client is presenting himself for follow-up. Whenever he has a problem, he comes. So that is also retention to care.
Oh, okay.
Retention to care is when the client comes back for follow-up. Yes.
In the facility.
Right.
You talk a lot about initiating. Somebody might think that you're talking about initiation school or any other type of initiation. But when you speak of initiating, or when you talk of initiation, what is it? What are we initiating who on?
Okay. Here at Popin we offer ART, long life, and then we also offer PrEP. So whichever you're eligible for. So when you are HIV positive, we initiate you on ART. You are HIV negative, we screen you for PrEP eligibility, and then we put you on PrEP. So basically, when I talk about initiation, those are the two elements that.
So it's putting someone to care.
On treatment.
Yeah, on treatment. All right. And you talk about. So it has to be eligibility when it comes to PrEP. What makes one eligible to be on PrEP?
Okay, remember the age, you must be 15 years and older, the weight must be 40 above, sexually active, of course. You also screen the number of partners, you assess your sexual activities. Do you feel that maybe when you are drunk you wake up with one night stands? You are, as a person, you understand those are the questions that we ask. How many partners do you have? Do you regularly have a condom? Is your partner, you know your partner's status? You know, because others, their partners will tell them that the partner is positive and I have to have this partner in my life. I can't just because the person is positive then I choose to dump this person. So yes, those are the kind of questions that you ask.
So I guess it's important to sort of like, I feel as if the suggestion is that you are digging for information to be able to find things out. Why is that? Why do you guys have to ask questions like, who did you sleep with? How many partners do you have? Do you know your partner's status? What is the importance in that?
In that process, we are screening for eligibility, but in the very same time, that is where it's your chance as a healthcare worker to put in your health education. Remember, if a person is able to disclose their information to you, it's your duty again to educate about the services that are available, because others might not know. For instance, we find a number of people who didn't know about PrEP, and then immediately when you introduce PrEP, there's this interest to say, we didn't know there's such, wow, this is so nice. You know?
Yeah, I think that's quite true. Yesterday, a friend of mine on Facebook tagged me on a conversation that was happening on a separate page about PrEP. So this friend of hers on Facebook tagged her and others and spoke about PrEP, but there was a lot of misinformation about it. And this friend tagged me and she was like, you know what, come to the conversation, you know, because as trans people we need such services, and we feel as if you are the person that can best then describe what is PrEP, and also we know where to get it and things like that. So I think it's quite important that, you know, we get in such conversations and educate people about, you know, the services that are there and that they can engage in. You know, does clients, you know, in accessing pop-ins free services know about adherence and retention, or when they come in they just don't know, like what I've just described now, that people are saying things that they don't know about anything? So when they get to the centers or the facilities, do they know that this is what you need to do, or you just have to start them from the beginning?
We have to start them from the beginning, because remember, you are entering a new facility, it's a new environment. So during our interaction, remember HIV testing, and then the person is interested in being initiated in treatment, then that is where the process starts, you know, of introducing adherence counseling, because adherence counseling starts during pre-counseling. It starts with the counselor that is currently testing the client now, before it reaches the clinician. So it is a duty of the counselor to start with adherence counseling, and then I as a clinician will continue during initiation. So there is this chart that we normally use to make to make this explanation of adherence easy. Remember, when we are speaking to a client, you can't use medical terms. Remember, this person must leave this facility understanding everything and being able to narrate it to another person. You understand? So we use this chart that is adherence and drug resistance chart, right? So it basically makes the client understand why you are taking your ARVs. For instance, here it makes you understand that you must keep the level of your ARVs high. So by taking your treatment every day, it benefits you so that the ARVs level stays high in your blood, right? So when you take your treatment every day, the viral load, which is the HIV virus, goes down. And then your CD4 cells are able to grow. Because remember, when you have this HIV virus, it attacks your CD4 cells. The CD4 cells are the ones that we call the soldiers of the body. So when you take your ARVs, we are able to suppress this virus and let your soldiers to grow, right? Because if your soldiers are low, then you have high chances of having these opportunistic infections. Good. So, as I have explained, the high levels, then it keeps the level, the virus down. So if you miss your dose, because during adherence counseling, you find clients asking, why are we supposed to take treatment same time every day? So it benefits you because it keeps the level of the treatment at the same, high there. So let's say you take your treatment 9 o'clock every day. So when 9 o'clock comes, then the level of the treatment goes down. So it needs to top up, right, to keep it
on the same level. Yes. On the same level.
Yes. So let's say it's 9 o'clock or same time when right? You miss your dose.
Yeah.
Then this virus gets a chance to go and say, oh, he has forgotten to take his dose, right?
Interesting.
Yes. And then when you take your dose, then it adjusts again. It goes up, then the virus goes down. Right? You do this, then it becomes a pattern. Now you say every day you miss. No, yesterday I knocked off late. I forgot my tablet at my granny's place, whatever. Then it becomes a pattern. So the virus is very clever. It learns this pattern to say, oh, okay, this is what V does. So it grows stronger than the treatment.
Wow.
You understand? Hence I'm saying adherence is very important. Right?
Yeah.
So when it goes stronger, now it becomes resistant. Now you find that this client, when you take your bloods, now you want to assess, okay, the progress. Then you find that the viral load is high. And then the client will say, but sister, I'm taking my treatment every day. How come this viral load is high? It's because you're constantly missing your doses. Alright? And then you end up having to be changed now, because now this virus is stronger. It does not feel these tablets that we are taking anymore. We are on regimen 1, now we have to change you to another regimen. Alright? And then remember, it is not advisable to be changed to another regimen, because remember, on regimen 1, it's only 1 tablet, guys. Just 1 tablet. So when we have to change you from this regimen to this regimen, now you'll be taking many pills in the morning and evening.
Wow.
So why not stick to this one beautiful pill?
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah, I get you.
So yes, so adherence counseling is very important. It plays a big role in our lives, because remember, we don't want to only initiate clients, we want them to be virally suppressed, because that is the only way you can stop the spread of HIV.
Before we move on, this is quite interesting. Like, I feel as if I'm in a tutorial for for HIV. I want us to talk about then this let me see if I can go back on it. I had a missed. So let's say you miss, right, and then the protection goes lower, or the treatment, right, and then it when it's low, does it mean that when it's in this area, then you have an opportunity to get other infections, or does it mean that you are still protected, but unfortunately your protection is low?
No, you are still protected, but the protection is low.
But the danger here is that the viral load then goes up.
Yes.
Then it can, the more it does that, then it learns the patterns, and then it becomes stronger. Then you become, oh wow.
That's why it shouldn't be a habit that a person misses their dose.
Is it the very same sort of like narrative when it comes to PrEP, that you take a pill today and then you don't take the pill tomorrow when you remember to take the pill? It doesn't lend the same sort of like a pattern, and then is it?
Yeah, with PrEP, we had I think about 2 clients who were on PrEP, and they were constantly missing their doses. And when they came back for follow-up, they were reactive. The status changed, because now this person was not adhering to the treatment. Now has to move from PrEP to long life ART. So it is very important. If you miss your PrEP dose, please use a condom. That is why I say condom plays a very, very important part. You know that you are not constant with your PrEP, condom.
Condomize. I want us to go on the comment section before I continue, but I think you've touched on quite important aspects of this conversation, especially with that. I didn't know, Mina. I thought, even if you missed it, as long as you're taking in the pill, you are still getting that high. You're still protecting yourself. But I didn't know that the virus can then now come and it can do those things. Let's go to the comment section. I'm trying to connect here, and it seems like I've lost connection. But if you've just joined us, welcome to the chat, man. The feature is called Clinical Mondays for your Monday, and today we are talking all things adherence and retention. And I've just been schooled on how the viral load reacts when it comes to your body and what needs to be done in such cases, and that when the virus has learned those kind of patterns, you can actually get infected, or the virus can be strong, and you can then now be moved from one pill to other pills. And I like how Stapasi has given us the narrative in that instance. So if you want to be part of the conversation, please leave your comment there on the comment section below. On Facebook it is Oram Pop In, and on Twitter it is @in_health. Question here from Jackie Jax, or Jacqueline Jax. Binaras asking a question: how do you explain U equals to U to a patient? And I'll tell you this. I want to also marry this with what you were saying there, that when you give this narrative to a client, do you also then speak of U equals to U, or is U equals to U then separate from such narratives when you are giving counseling to a client?
No, it goes together, because remember, the reason why we want this client to take the ARVs is because we want the viral load to be suppressed, to be undetectable. That is the main reason. Remember, we don't have a cure for HIV. So I explained to the client to say, we are taking this, actually this is the term that I use for them to at least to understand. I tell them to say, today you are getting married.
Right.
So you and these pills till death do you apart.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah. You're vowing.
Yes. So I explained to them to say, when taking this treatment, it helps you to suppress this virus. So once this virus is suppressed, then you are able, you cannot transmit it to another person, right? It's not easy for you to transmit it to another person. So I explained to them to say, I initiate you today. At 6 months, I'm going to monitor progress. That indeed you did listen to what I was educating you about. Yes, and then we check the results and then explain to say, right, if your viral load now is less than 50 copies according to the guideline, or lower than detectable, then it means chances of you transmitting it to another person are slim.
So for it to get to those below 50 copies or 50 copies, it means that the person needs to adhere to the medication. So when the partner comes now, Stapasi, with I come to you guys to take my PrEP, and maybe I have a partner who's HIV positive, it means that both of us are on these pills, right? One might be long life, one might be a choice to say, I need to stop now, or I'm not taking it now, and whatnot. But then as we come to take both of us these pills, it means that we both need to adhere, right? So then what is the counseling like in that regard? To say, your partner is HIV positive, here is his ARVs, you are HIV negative, here is your PrEP. Take me through that process.
Usually what I advise them to do, I always tell them to say, I know you guys, because sometimes you find them to say, I love my partner, I don't like using a condom. So I always encourage them to say, take your ARVs. It's better if your partner's viral load is lower than detectable. Then his chances of him transmitting it to you are slim. Remember. So meanwhile, now let us take this first 6 months as a recovery mode, you know, use a condom, you know, because sometimes you do find both partners who are positive, and they'll be like, no, because both of us are positive, we don't use a condom. So I always tell them that each and every person has their own HIV. So take care of each other, remind each other, let us take our treatment, then so that whenever so that both of you can be virally suppressed. So whatever happens, you don't have to transmit your HIV to me. I don't have to transmit my HIV.
Because though there can be an opportunity of reinfection, right? So that you, I think it's important that we are condomizing at all costs. Let's then talk about the messaging. I think what you just showed me there, it is quite interesting, and I think it would be interesting if then it is taken from you guys' offices as clinicians to the lab of a client, so that they can be able to live by it and, like you said, narrate it to the next person. How important then is messaging when it comes to adherence and retention? You know, is such messages easily accessible? Can we, you know, look at IC materials and get it speaking about retention and adherence, or do we have to come to you and sit in such conversations so you can then explain it to us?
I think currently the best way is to at least engage with a healthcare worker, be it a counselor or clinician, because remember, whatever we might get from the social media, websites, whatever, might be a misconception and get wrong information. So it is advisable that you go to a healthcare worker that will give you the right explanation, because there are many things that can hinder your adherence. Remember, even psychological support also affects the adherence. It's not about just taking tablets. A person has got many things. Remember, you find out your status right now, and then you have to live with this bag of pills again at the same time. So there's a lot to take in. So it's better when you liaise with the healthcare worker, so that the healthcare worker can be able to assess and then refer you appropriately if there is a need.
Wow. Let's check out other comments coming in on the Oram Poppins Facebook page. It's talking adherence and retention with Sister Pasi. Lebone Twins Mahali says, yes, Queen. All right. Okay, hi. LQ Kid says, how long does it take for the virus to resist the drugs? How long does it take for the virus to resist the drugs?
Okay, usually for us to change you to another regimen, we usually, let's say we take the viral load this month, and then it comes back more than 1,000 copies, then we have to repeat it after 3 months. In the process of us repeating it, we have to find out what can be the cause. You understand? So we use the ABCD measure to say, we check your adherence. Are you adhering? The B stands for the back, which is the intercurrent infections, which is your TB and STI, meaning you have to check if this client does not have any infection, because an infection can also affect. And then also the correct dose. Remember, others due to the weight and all that, you must check if the weight is according to the dose that you have given. The drug resistance also is and the drug interaction, if maybe the client is taking other drugs, or even the traditional meds itself. Remember, if you are taking your ARVs and taking your traditional meds, other traditional meds can be very strong and it just cleans out all these treatments, and then you are left with
no defense. You are left with no defense. ABCD.
Yes. Wow. So it takes usually over 2 years. We monitor you over 2 years.
Another question on the comment section. There's only Masukumeng Kekana says, who qualifies for PrEP? I think we've answered that, but let's just think that Suri just joined us now. Sister Pasi, answer that question: who qualifies for PrEP?
15 years and older, you male or female, but pregnant women are not yet eligible for now. And then also for now, currently the government is not catering for everybody else. So we are mainly concentrating on our adolescent girls, our MSM, our transgender, our sex workers. Yes.
Another question. Oh God, questions gone. Let's take questions on the floor. I see hands. I got guys because we have ghosts who are part ghost, part staff, part everything. So let's start with Lebo. You have I say ghost, then I say the name. A ghost Lebo.
Okay, my question is based on time.
Time.
Like ART versus prep. So I'm taking my prep at maybe 9 o'clock. Then for 5 days. And after 5 days, I take them maybe after 9 o'clock. Let's say maybe 5 minutes later or. And then I'm having a partner who's on ARTs. Then when we do the dates, maybe we plan something without protection. What are the chances of me getting the virus if I'm on PrEP?
I'm not suggesting by any means that Google is not healthy. I'm not. But then, when it comes to a healthy lifestyle, how important is that? And, things like alcohol and smoking, do they then affect, your progress when it comes to taking treatment?
No, alcohol doesn't affect, lifestyle. Remember, nothing has changed about you. The only thing is that you have this HIV virus. I always tell people, we are not sick.
Yeah.
You have this HIV virus. Life continues. Nothing has changed, right? The only thing now, you need to live responsibly.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You take care of yourself. Now, whatever things that you were doing carelessly, there are other things that you will now start to change, right? Remember, if I'm going out, it's my responsibility that, I know that I'll be going out and my pill time is 9 o'clock. Let me take my 1 dose with me, at least. You understand? So that when 9 o'clock comes, I take my dose, then life continues. That nothing has changed.
Okay. Well, I think that you need to also. It's also, I think, a choice, and like you say, it's a responsibility. If you want to then enhance the body and give it a better fighting chance, then you need to eat healthy, then you need to exercise, you know what I mean, go out for walks and
remember,
stuff like that.
We don't want to put a burden on our people.
Yeah.
People are unemployed, so
Yeah.
I don't want to say, Vee, start eating lettuce, cucumber.
Right.
That's not being realistic.
Yeah.
You need to just be realistic to say, just continue taking care of yourself,
Yourself,
hydrate yourself. Water is free. Hydrate yourself. Remember, taking care of those kidneys, because now you are taking treatment every day, meaning those kidneys are working every day now hard. So just basic things.
Basic things. All right. A hand. Two hands. The ghosts are part of the conversations today. Guys, tweet us, inbox us, Facebook us. Let's start with the first ghost.
Right, no, I wanted to go back to the whole lifestyle things. Like what would we say it's a normal drinking setup? You understand? Like, for instance, if I were to start ARVs today and I know that Bev, so what would Sister Pasi say about someone who's drinking? Like, what would be like minimum, maximum kind of a thing? That's what I want to understand, because I'm thinking now taking treatment and then now if you're looking at it every day. Yeah.
Not every day ghost.
It's a lot.
Remember, alcohol becomes a problem once that's affecting your life. Once it affects the people around you. That is why during initiation we ask, do you drink? How much? Does it affect your lifestyle? Do you go to work normally? Those are the things that give us an alarm to say this person has a drinking problem. Then you need to refer this person to AA, AA counseling, all those things. Yes, then that is how we are able to assess you, because drinking can be 10 glasses, can be minimum for me 20 glasses, you understand? So we are not equal, we are not the same, right? So that is why I'm saying, as soon as it affects your daily living, then
it raises alarms. Second.
Okay, so my question is, maybe I was misinformed about this somebody that maybe he's positive, and then I come to the clinic and I be initiated on PEP, then I later find out that that person is negative while I'm still on the treatment. Am I allowed to?
So interesting. To jump off the medication, to jump off PEP. Sister Basi.
Okay, with PEP, it's usually advisable that you take it for the whole 28 days. Just finish it for 28 days so that we avoid resistance should you want to take it again. So I think it should also be a lesson to say, rather be on PrEP.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
rather be safe than sorry,
Yeah.
because anything can happen.
Anything can
you
happen,
understand?
yeah.
So yeah.
So let's touching on that PEP incident. So you leave PEP, you drop off the course, right? Then how dangerous is that? And can you then come back and say, "Hi guys, I've dropped off out of the course and maybe I engaged in sexual intercourse. Please put me back." In that scenario, how do we navigate that?
Can you repeat the question again?
So I'm put on PEP, I'm HIV negative, right? And then I have sex with a partner, I don't trust that person. Then I'm put on PEP for 28 days, right? And then in the 28 days, I don't finish the entire course, I don't finish the entire treatment. Then let's say after 15 pills, I'm like, I don't take this maybe for whatever reason. And then I engage in sexual intercourse, then I get scared again, then I come to you guys to say, yo, I have left, I didn't finish the previous course or treatment, now I've engaged in sexual intercourse again, I'm scared. Do you guys then pick that up and say continue on that, or do we start from scratch again to say now, you know, zokala futhi, take these pills, kanjalo?
We're going to start afresh, but remember you're putting yourself at risk because you might seroconvert at any time. So our duty as clinicians, we have to assess you and look for signs of HIV and then reinitiate you. Now you have to start afresh. And then remember you are increasing the chances of resistance because this, when you have this virus, then you might grow strong, you might recognize this PEP of yours, and then next time you won't be lucky.
Yo, so let's adhere to our treatment, either PEP, PrEP, or ARVs. A question comes also again on Facebook. It says, you mentioned people who default on PrEP can test positive at some point. If a person knows they have defaulted on PrEP, would that person now qualify for PEP? What is the process?
Yes. We've had clients who've been honest to say, I have defaulted on my PrEP, so now I had a sexual contact, I don't know the status of this person, you know. So we initiate you on PEP. Then as soon as you finish the course of your PEP, then we reinitiate you on PrEP.
Oh, and so it's important also what you find after the PEP. So what are the chances then of saying, if I'm put on PEP after I finish the course and then I come back to test and then I'm positive? Is it possible?
I've never had a case, and it's very limited. It just shows that our PEP is very effective.
It's working. It's working. Okay, there are no more questions. I don't have any questions also on Facebook. My last question is, does the way the clinic and you as health facilitators or clinicians, in handling the client, contributes to the client continuing to access service, adhering and being on treatment? Because, I will tell you with public clinics, that public clinics are the doom and gloom of health when it comes to certain populations. So somebody would rather refrain from going to the clinic and say, no, because my girlfriend is, get and not go, or they will say, I'd rather not go because that sister said this and this and that. So the whole treatment of the clinic, the whole setup of how clinicians speak to the clients also contributes. Would you agree that that's the case, or will people just drop out of their courses because they want to?
No, with our facility, we usually get compliments from clients to say the standard is very superb. We have a facilitator that is very good, which is able to English. How do you to motivate people?
Yeah,
you understand?
encourage them.
Yes, encourage them. Yes. by conducting M groups, you know, because we usually conduct M groups whereby clients find out about the services that we offer. And then we also have a case manager. Post initiation, we give him the files, and then he's the one that is constantly reminding the client, don't forget it's your follow-up date, or we even go to an extra mile of delivering, because remember other clients are working, you understand, that is why they're afraid of being fired from work. Remember, it's COVID, and all those retrenchments and all those things. So our services are very recommendable. What I can say is that.
Yeah, that's good. Any last words to somebody who is on treatment for any other or for any other ailment? Does not necessarily have to be HIV. You know, when it comes to adherence, how would you then advise them in that regard? And what is it that they always need to remember?
It's very important that you listen to your health workers' instructions, be it antibiotics or ARVs. When you are being told to take your treatment on such a time for so many days, stick to it, because remember, being resistant to treatment puts your life at risk, and you might be hospitalized, having now to depend on intravenous antibiotics and all those things. So for us to prevent hospitalization, better stick to the primary health care rules and guidelines, you know, listen to your healthcare workers. In that way, we'll have longevity.
I think that's quite encouraging. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time. Happy Monday, and happy Monday to you. Thank you so much for being with us for the past 30, 35, I might have exceeded to 40, I'm not sure, minutes of this conversation as we spoke to Sister Pasi about adherence and retention. And it is quite important to stick to the rules. Let us not be swayed in any way, because our health really depends on the pills that we're getting in all our pop-in clinics. For more of this, please stick around on our Oram Pop-In's Facebook page, also on www.popin.org. Tag us on other social media platforms. On Instagram, it is @popin. On Twitter, it is @n_health. You can take me, it is @Vee Ka Nkosi with the hashtag Clinical Monday. We'll see you on Friday. I'm not sure who we have on Friday, but I think we might also be in Africa somewhere, because we always are in Africa for It's a Wrap on Friday, as we look at the biggest headlines or the biggest stories that have been making headlines throughout the week, and we then get to dive deep with that guest and also speak about what is it that they are doing. It's going to be quite interesting, so make sure that you stick around. There might be music, there might be dancing, we don't know, but the setup today looks rather lovely. There might be other things. Stage. You know, but thank you so much for joining us. Happy streaming.